Hello there, my name is Rich. I'd like to talk about animation, and today we're talking about My Student Body. It's something that you probably never heard of. Yeah, I don't blame you because this is sort of kind of a web indie independent project. It's at sort of starting to get more popular every each episode. Right now, we have 3 episodes that I highly recommend watching if you love animation, more sort of adult animation. Yeah, I'm not talking about like Family Guy, Simpsons, more sort of kind of like anime while being crazy, just sort of mature storytelling that actually works so well because the first episode will grab you because it's all about these two characters called Elijah and Ramadan, if I'm correct. I probably butchered the names or said the name incorrectly. Just go with it. Now, Ramadan is sort of the jock kind of student. That this is not based in not college, school. This is based on in college. This Ramadan kind of guy who is a jock. He's very defensive, almost sort of push you away however he can because he has his defensive till he sort of accidentally died for a second, and Ramadan, the ghost who lived in the dorm, saves him and sort of becoming kind of friends because Ramadan doesn't want to do anything with Elijah. He's just sort of panicking about his especially school epidemic because he's not the more smartest tool of the shed, in other words. But you see how things fall something very interesting about the first episode. In fact, the first episode is only want to say is a perfect pilot that it sort of give you crumbs in understanding building the whole series very slowly. You understand the situation of Eliza. For example, he followed the ghost rules. He can't pass his own dorm because he's not allowed to because he's attached to his notebook that he doesn't really remember written a notebook before. And that's the second thing that sort of catch you. That's sort of relearning why Elijah is there, why he is attached to this book, why he's a ghost that he didn't cross over. They set up a lot of little things of the first episode. But you think Ramadan, the jock that doesn't really care, but this is what the relationship really grabs your attention because Ramadan needs Elijah because Elijah is a student in this school. He's been there. He understands all the academics. He needs him to help him to pass his class. But I love it is the vice versa. Elijah needs Ramadan to actually help him to understand why he died, why he can't cross over, who he used to be before the incident. And that's so fascinating because they actually add more layers on the second episode. The second episode kind of confine their sort of relationship, understanding, yeah, this is a friendship with benefits. Clearly underline the benefit part because they need each other to actually work. You can see how different the two characters are. Like Elijah is sort of a soft boy, a very kind, sweet guy who wants to help, but at the same time he doesn't know what to do exactly. But at the same time, he has so much information around the school. That's a Rumble that kind of uses him, even that he's sort of an asshole. I mean, he is sort of the Bakugo from Bleach, not Bakugo from Hero Academia. He is the Ichigo from Bleach. He is that SOB that you don't know you want to be friends with, but you cross that line to convince him to be his friend. He always got your back. And this is the reason why you kind of care about Robin Dot. Even you, the very beginning, you feel he's sort of too an asshole because he's just so different with Elijah. But you get it why he's sort of offensive. But when you became his friend, he will protect you wherever he can. And that's why you kind of get more interested of this two guys' relationship because he needs him, the ghost, to help him. Of course, I love it. The second episode, they do break down a little bit more the rules of being a ghost. Like, if you depends on what color of ghost you actually are, is how you actually died. If you're green, you sort of become a little bit selfish how you died. Or you're yellow, you're connected to the green ghost because you have to sort of argue for an eternity to when you admit it's your fault the reason why I actually died, so you could actually cross over. If you're purple, you actually die being forgotten, that nobody grabbed your attention. And that's why it's so interesting because each episode Bill of the last one to understand the sort of being a ghost. And specifically all the rules, because let's face it, media never goes that deep of ghost lore, only if you're a type of person who likes sort of supernatural things. In fact, the only two series I feel really get in depth, at least a little bit, is the Ghost Whisperer from CBS. They created it, I think. They actually just taught the ghosts and said all the rules. Or Supernatural, that once in a while they actually focus on that episode. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Supernatural, the CW show, the Winchester Brothers. If just to jog your memory, that's the only two shows that I remember they actually started to sort of kind of collect all the rules, explaining everything. But I think my school, sorry, I'm studying here, my memory block right now. My student spirit show, this web series breaks it down. They actually want you to understand all the rules. How Elijah cannot leave the dorm without his notebook, because he's connected to it, understanding why this notebook is so important and why he have this list, and figuring out crossing out each thing to actually help him out. Something I do appreciate is the second episode. They do explain what actually happened. You actually cross over. You get reborn the next life. And that is sort of a very interesting concept, because let's face it, once again, they don't really go that deep of all the different shows becoming the dead, the spirit, because sometimes it depends on what type of story you actually go into. Usually in a horror, it's just a poltergeist who want to torture people or unfinished business. Very few times they attempted to go in different directions, like Bleach, The Ghost Whisperer, Danny Phantom, Dead Man, and many other shows. But this one stands out. It's sort of a mystery, sort of self, you know who you are, in understanding why you died. What is the reason in how you cross over? Because let's face it, it's a very interesting concept that is not done enough, maybe because no one is sure what to do with it. Except for this one, I think the few shows who really like the idea and collect all the rules, how a ghost should act, what they couldn't do, like touching things, or actually possessing people. Like, I love that they do explain a little more extra things that other shows or other books or novels don't really talk about that much. I remember the only time I heard someone possessing a body is sort of kind of be reborn once again, struggling to move your body. The only time I heard that is sort of the Ghost Whisperer. They actually sort of focus on an episode or something like that. But besides that, this series continue to be more interesting, because episode 3 sort of defines a kebab and the ghost student relationship, because they do agree something is wrong with this sort of situation, because how the ghost college student sort of died, how he died, what the reason. But I love episode 3. They go a little bit deeper, like the relationship what he used to have his own parents, or he may remember or not remember, go in sort of kind of spiritual identity crisis, that why can't I remember who murdered me? Why don't remember the moment I died? I remember after, but I don't remember the moment. Yeah, like it, they compare it like, well, if you don't remember how you died, what the reason? What? Sorry, I'm struggling here to explain myself. Yeah, I ask forgiveness. But besides that, it's sort of compare this is, if you don't remember dying, how we don't remember being born in the same way. And that is sort of interesting. It's one though they actually go deep as sort of the psychology of rebirth and death, and actually make the character rethink, and also get the both characters becoming understanding, caring about each other. They sort of need to solve this mystery to help the other person. And that's just interesting. I mean, there's only 3 episodes right now. You could buy the comic book on Amazon if you want to know more. I don't, because I want to see what happens next. Naturally, later on, I probably will buy the comic, but it's something that's just so intriguing. It's something I recommend because it's just so fascinating, because it's so rare to see this sort of deep discussion. And I mean deep, I mean each episode is between 15 minutes and 10 minutes. The first episode is just 10 minutes long. Even that, I think it needed 2 more minutes more because there is sort of kind of a fight scene in a way there, but it just sort of they couldn't make it work, so I think they cut it off. But the other two episodes are probably 15 minutes long, but it's just perfect. Just nailed the time limit. What the story trying to tell you, it delivers. It's one of those sort of very well emotional sort of stories that it's sort of hard to explain. You need to see it yourself. I highly recommend it. And something that's just so interesting is how the animation improve episode by episode, because the first episode is a pilot. It's really obvious because how rough sketch. I mean, the models is sort of off. Yeah, I don't mean shrink. It's just how odd they look a little bit. But the second episode completely make them fluent. They're on model 24/7. Second thing is so interesting about this is the fact the character designs. I mean, it's something that you probably don't notice, but a person like me who like animation, and one day I do like to make my own cartoon, that the character designs are good. I mean, each single character feels unique. Usually, that's sort of a struggle to make a show. Make 100 characters that are not main lead or nothing to do with the main lead look interesting, and that's sort of hard to do because you have to keep doing over and over, not sure this is the right way or not, or I'm too focusing too much. But something that I just appreciated, sort of animator perspective, in other words. Of course, I have to say one sort of minor nitpick is sort of the dialogue. I mean, the dialogue is amazing, but because it's sort of translated to European to English, it's sort of way they say sort of things will throw you off. It's sort of like anime. Sometimes they say something that it doesn't really make sense or how they say it. But if you have to remember is how they say it in the original language that actually makes sense. When you translate it, it kind of doesn't. I mean, you understand, but it's sort of that awkward pause. You just like, okay, I guess it just go with it, in other words. But besides that, it's something I highly recommend. It's just so interesting and fascinating that I can't stop talking about it. In fact, depends how many people like this or watch this video. I probably review the fourth episode. If depends how long it takes, because this is still a very independent project. But once again, I just enjoy it. Like each episode feels they really took a lot of thought, especially the relationship of the two main leads. It's something that's just wow. It's just that good. It's something I highly recommend. In fact, let me ask this question: you never seen this show or this web series? If you didn't, watch it. I recommend it, especially if you want more mature animated content. Nothing like Family Guy, Simpsons, or anything. Something interesting but fun at the same time. I got nothing else to say. Just thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and have a wonderful day. Bye.